hope you're well. I just decided to make a video because there's a few things that I want to discuss really, and I think it's time for me to speak my truth. This partly come from watching someone else's videos, and in that video they said that their voice holds a frequency which helps to activate others to know who they truly are and to know the truth and the wisdom that they hold within. It activates codes, and that is why this person was speaking their truth. And then I remembered that I've been told the same, that my voice activates others and that it contains codes. So I thought, well, in the past I've maybe not made videos or spoken about stuff because I felt maybe that I'm not as knowledgeable as some other people, or I maybe need to develop a little bit more in myself, and to be able to actually speak with some, just to make sure that I'm saying the right things really. But actually, after I listened to the video this morning, I realised it's not really about what you say so much as how you say it and the frequency of the voice, and also whether you're speaking from your heart or not. And there's always somebody that's ready to receive what you're saying, so it doesn't really matter how much you know, because we're all at different levels anyway. We're all at different stages of evolution, so there's always somebody who will be activated by what we say. So really what I decided was that it's now, we need to speak up. We need to do what we came here to do. We need to, and I'm still not 100% sure what my mission is, although I've been told that I've got a very specific mission. But I do know that I've been targeted since birth, and so I'm not letting that put me off anymore. I'm not letting that stop me from helping other people. And if for the amount of shit that I've had to put up with in my life, to then suddenly get to the end of my life and it's all been in vain, like, what was all this crap been for? How and I'm not saying that it's been in vain, because I do a lot of things to help other people, but I've got a lot of other things that I want and need to do, and now we're at a pivotal point in human history where there's a real battle going on between the light and the dark, and people are needing to choose which side they're on. And so we all need to make sure that we're doing our best, the best that we can, to help that process. So what shall we talk about today? This is my favourite mug, by the way. My little heart mug. So I suppose I could tell you a little bit about my background. about how we're all targeted. So, I mean, I've been targeted since birth in a specific way, but really we're all targeted. So we're all, we're all targets of mind control, and it's in everything. And we need to wake up to that fact because, I think that humans as a species are very trusting and naturally very trusting individuals. So we trust people to act in our best interests, as in our leaders and the big corporations, and we sort of trust that they've got our best interests at heart and that they won't allow our food and our medical care and the way that our countries are governed to act in a way that's detrimental to our well-being. But actually the opposite is the case, as in with everything in this reality, everything is inverted. So they absolutely act in ways that is very detrimental to our health. So humans have to wake up to that fact. We have to wake up to the fact that the powers that be have actually got an agenda to harm us. And so we have to take responsibility back for our own health and well-being. And there's several ways that we can do that. So, and this all ties into, humans have been turned into a slave race, which, we've given our power away completely. And so we need to take our power back. And part of taking our power back is actually taking back responsibility and being responsible for our own actions. And so we can take responsibility for our own health care, which involves being mindful of what we actually put into our bodies. So making sure that we avoid processed food as much as possible. Eating lots of fresh fruit and vegetables, minimising the amount of animal products. I'm not a fan of the vegan diet, because I actually think there's an agenda behind that as well. I think that the vegan diet isn't healthy to our bodily system over a long period of time, and I think there's a lot of junk vegan food out there which has become very popular and very trendy and is actually very harmful to our health. So I'm not a fan of the vegan diet, but I don't think that we need lots of animal products either. I think we do need, I think we have to listen to our own bodies. I think, maybe for some people, vegan, plant-based diet is healthy, and they thrive on that. But for me, I need a little bit of animal products. And I think that's, we have to listen to our own body, and I think that's the case for, quite a lot of people. And I don't think there's any shame in doing that. We have to do what's right for our own well-being. But I don't think that we need animal products at every meal. I think that the overconsumption of animal products actually is detrimental to our health too. But the overconsumption of food in general is detrimental to our health. So we have to learn to listen to our own bodies as to what we need. And I overindulged this morning. I've eaten something that I know that I shouldn't have eaten. And actually, I felt even worse than I would normally. So that's a lesson learned. It wasn't enjoyable at all. I didn't even enjoy it, and normally I would have enjoyed that sort of food, but I didn't enjoy it. So lesson learned. I won't be doing that again. But I've just literally completed a fast a couple of weeks ago. I did a 10-day fast for which comprised of the lemonade diet, which is lemon juice, maple syrup, and cayenne pepper. And that really rebooted my system, got rid of a lot of waste and parasites, and I felt amazing while I was actually on the diet. I didn't feel hungry at all. And since the fast, what I've noticed is that I can't tolerate large portions of food, and so mainly just having fruit, but then in the evening I might have a stir fry or a curry or something, but I can't eat large volumes of food anymore, which that's a good thing, I think. And I don't want to get back to my old ways of eating either, although I have, and it's really quite hard over it being Christmas and everything. So the first thing we can do is be mindful of what we put into our bodies, but also what I have experienced when I've been transitioning in my eating habits is that we can't force it, so it has to be in alignment with our own frequency, vibration of where we are at that particular time. So if we force things too quickly, then it brings the rest of our energy system out of alignment, out of balance, and then we sort of overcompensate in other areas. So yeah, it has to be. So this is why we need to learn to listen to our own body, because it has to be in alignment with our own frequency. But there's things that we can do to sort of detox things that are harmful to us. So that is relevant to whatever diet we're ingesting, and then that will help to actually raise our frequency. And what I've also realised when I was fasting is that our emotions are so connected, and our thoughts are so connected to our diet, and a lot of that is to do with parasites and toxins that are actually in food. Particularly parasites, they sort of the main culprits that give us the cravings for the food that are bad for us, particularly sugar and things like that. And then they excrete their toxins. So parasites do have quite a large influence on our mind and our emotions, which that's quite powerful, really. So and I think in the past, in say even only 100 years ago, it was part of a weekly routine to take something to get rid of parasites, and we don't seem to do that anymore. And that's not because we don't have parasites anymore, because we do probably have more of them because of all the toxins that we're ingesting. But I think that's a deliberate omission from powers that be to actually undermine our health and our well-being, because we're more easily mind controlled then because of the parasites. The parasites can be artificial as well, so they can be programmed to mind control us. So it's all a bit of a minefield, really. But so regular parasite cleanses, I think, are essential, and this is going to be part of my routine now. So I'm going to start off by doing it monthly, but then I may even sort of include a something weekly in my routine. I'm not sure yet. So parasite cleansing and then detoxing. So things that we can help with detoxing, particularly the chemical toxins that are in the food, also the nanobots and heavy metals and things like that. So just general detox can be things like lemon, just the fresh lemon in water, apple cider vinegar in hot water in the morning. That helps to cleanse out our system. And then oil pulling, so coconut oil, just a teaspoon or tablespoonful in your mouth, and then just swish it around your mouth. Swish it in and out from beneath your teeth for about a good 10-15 minutes, and then really important, spit it out afterwards, but not down the sink because it'll block the sink. So spit it into the bin or whatever, and that will release a lot of toxins, and which is why it's important not to swallow it because it's very poisonous. So that's good for getting rid of toxins. And then heavy metals, you can detox with things like coriander, so cilantro. So you can make a cilantro pesto with Brazil nuts, cilantro, garlic and olive oil. And then that helps to release the heavy metals into your bloodstream. And then if you take activated charcoal afterwards, so about 20 minutes after you've eaten, that will help bind the heavy metals and then release them from your body. Epsom salt baths. It's really good because your skin is an organ, and so lots of things are absorbed and released through your skin. So we absorb creams and chemicals through our skin into our tissues and into our bloodstream. So obviously they can be released that way as well. So Epsom salts help to draw out the impurities through your skin, in your bloodstream. And things like bentonite clay does a similar thing. I've never used that, but apparently that's really good as well. And I'm sure there's lots of other things as well. So, and then it's important to boost our system with vitamins such as the vitamin C to help with the free radicals. So I now started taking this amazing one, the C60, which is carbon 60, which is vitamin C. It's got, I think it's something like 500 times the strength of vitamin C. That's really good. What else? Boron, that's really good for detoxing as well, and it also remineralizes your bones. So it's really, and it helps regulate your hormones as well. So it's really good for the menopause. I take a really good spore lactose spore, so that helps with the good bacteria in your bowel. So it's really important to look after your bowel, because that's acts as the, that's the place where all the nutrients get absorbed or not. So if that's inflamed from the wrong diet and from toxins and things like that, such as sugar, then it can't absorb the correct nutrition in the correct form. And then that affects everything, and your gut is like the largest organ in your body, and it is connected to your nervous system. So and it's also got its own neurotransmitters. So some people say it's like the first brain, which is why the health of your gut affects your mind and your emotions as well, because it's all connected. So really good B vitamin as well, especially if you're under a lot of stress, might be necessary. And also as well, the toxins attack your nervous system. Enzymes are always good to take. Digestive enzymes, so a good one. Always make sure as well that you get really good vitamins and minerals, because that haven't got sugar coating or a toxic coating on them. What else? Vitamin D3 is always a really good thing to take, because we all lack vitamin D3, and that when it's in your body, it turns into a hormone, which then helps prevent cancer, helps prevent diabetes by regulating insulin levels, and it also helps just generally balance your body. What else? So they're the main things, and I don't take them though all of those all the time. I sort of alternate with things. So really, it's about, like I said, listening to your body, and so I just take things that I feel as I need to take them. And I very rarely do I get ill. Very rarely. So that's diet and why it's important to detox and be mindful of what we're putting in our body, and not rely on doctors and things to sort of provide solutions to health problems. It's about preventing health problems in the first place, and so it's just becoming aware of what is good for you, and what's not good for you. You know, there's so much rubbish in the supermarkets. If you go in a supermarket, then most shelves are full of food-like products, not even proper food, and it's just full of sugar and additives, and it's just full of rubbish. But we've been conditioned now and programmed into believing that this is all food, and it's not food. So it's just becoming aware of what is good for you and what's not good for you, and then taking steps to just make little changes in your diet initially, and then what you find is that your body actually then starts to naturally, over time, it will start to reject the food that's not good for you. And like I said, it's not an instant thing, because I think if you change it too quickly, then that can have a negative effect on your body as well. It's about listening to your body and just making gradual steps to make those changes, and changes that are manageable to you as well, that so that you still enjoy your food. It's not about restricting your diet or making yourself eat a diet that you don't enjoy. It's about experimenting and finding healthy food that you do like and incorporating that into your diet. And maybe reducing portion sizes, regularly detoxing and regularly doing some sort of a parasite cleanse. And you can just take something, quite basic. You don't have to do anything drastic. So you can take something like that wormwood. That is a parasite cleanser. Kills the parasites. You can also take something called diatomaceous earth, which that helps to kill parasites. Or you can, do something a bit more drastic and a bit more intense. But it's all about, every little helps, and it's about what fits into your lifestyle and what you can tolerate. And then what you'll find is that once you start changing, your body starts wanting different food and you feel healthier, then that will affect your clarity, mental clarity. It will affect your thoughts. It will affect your energy levels. It will affect your emotions, probably, because you might find that you start releasing emotions initially, which I found that when I was on the cleanse. I was quite surprised. When I was fasting, there was some emotions came up that I'd not felt for a long time. Actually, I thought that I'd healed, but obviously there was some residual emotions still locked in my cells, which needed releasing. And it will affect your spiritual energy. So then you'll be able to embody more of your spiritual energy because you've cleared out the crap, basically. So as you start clearing out the toxins and all the crap that's blocking your cells, then you'll be able to embody more of your spiritual energy as well. And then that's when you probably find that you'll naturally want to change a diet over time, and more you will want to naturally change to a healthier diet. And you'll find that if you'll feel bad when, you won't feel as good in yourself. You might feel a little bit ill when you then have something that maybe you would have had maybe 6 months ago, but now you try it and it makes you feel ill. That's the sort of thing that's happened to me, and it's happened to me over quite a long period. But I think that's because I wasn't necessarily listening to my body as well as I should have been. But then, it's not about shoulds and shouldn'ts. It's about what's right for you at that particular time. So anyway, I will leave it at that for now. And although there's just one more thing that I want to say. It's something probably that's not quite as well known in wider circles, is that the toxins, a lot of the additives that are put into food it's not only toxic to the body, but it's held in the cells, and then it can be used as like a radio receiver to mind control people. And usually it's to mind control people, to dumb people down, and to buy the food that isn't good for them. That's just one example of how the programmers, so they can mind control you from remotely to then crave the food and go and buy the food that actually is not good for you and that will make you sick. So once you start clearing out all those, detoxing and clearing out all those toxins, then you'll find that you don't crave those foods anymore because you're not being mind controlled. And to some people that might sound a little bit far-fetched, but actually it's true. And they don't, they can do it without the using the additives. They don't need to use the additives. There's other ways of doing it, but it's not as easy for them. So, it's one less thing that they can use to control you. So, I can't stress enough how important it is to detox and to just be careful about what you're putting in your body, because you've only got one body in this lifetime, and the more that we look after it, the better we, the more clear our thoughts are, the more we can embody our spiritual energy, the more that we can fulfill our life purpose and just be active and just fulfill who we're meant to be in this lifetime and be useful members of society, and so that we're not needing to rely on the medical system to go and get pills that will make us even sicker. It's about taking responsibility for our own health and well-being and being an example to others as well, and to not rely on a system and give our power away to a system that has actually invested in making us sick, because there's pharmaceutical companies, they won't get paid if they're not dishing out pills, and we don't need pills. Not generally, we just need to change our diets usually. I'm not saying never ever need pills, but there's a lot of other things that we can try first before we resort to taking pills. So anyway, so that's all I want to say for today. So have a lovely day, and I hope that you found today's video useful. Okay, speak to you later. Bye.